Bless us today as we gather for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so that we will work for the good of our community. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Thy will be done. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call this Hancock County Commission to order this 20th day of August 2015 at exactly 2:31. Please just turn off all cell phones. Put your mic on. And put your mics on.
Old age. Old age.
Thanks, Joe. Item 1, approval of minutes. A, approval of commission meetings from August the 6th, 2015. Gentlemen, you had a chance to look at the minutes. I'll accept the motion to move as approved, as presented.
So moved.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Citizens' presentation. We have none scheduled. Would anyone like to address the commission today, this afternoon? Anyone like to address the commission? If not, moving on to correspondence, which we have no correspondence today. Tabled items. 4, Lawrenceville Fire Department requesting approval of an agreement to finance equipment consisting of 1 new custom HME pumper truck, 1 used quick attack truck, and 1 used HME rescue pumper truck in accordance with Internal Revenue guidelines.
Move to bring the tabled item from the table.
Discussion? Vote? Bring it off? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. The item is off the table. Or is it on the table? I asked you that last time, Counselor, didn't I?
It's off the table.
It's off the table. Okay.
No longer table.
No. Let me write that down. Okay.
So we need to act on it, correct?
I read it.
Right.
Beyond what, yeah, exactly. It's ready for you to act on it.
I move that we approve the request has been brought before the County Commission from the Lawrenceville Fire Department.
We have a motion in front of us. Are there any questions, concerns, discussion on the motion?
I think all they want to do is do some refinance on a couple of trucks and purchase another truck to get everything into one lump sum. So, we're just going through legalities.
Per IRS guidelines, and it is of no cost to the commission and the county. Correct?
Mm-hmm. So that's everybody's understanding is going on. This is basically just to help them comply with the IRS.
Okay. Further discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Approval of resolution to support under new business county commission. Approval of resolution to support the utilization of local workers.
So move to approve.
A motion on the floor. Discussion?
Again, this is just a formality that we support the use of local workers as much as possible.
Right. Any other discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Item 2, approval of resolution to accept the contractual agreement with the Community Participation Grant Program on behalf of the Hancock County Animal Shelter for the TNR program and educational seminars in the amount of $2,500.
Move to approve the resolution.
Discussion? Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Item 3, approval of resolution to accept the contractual agreement with the Community Participation Grant Program on behalf of the Hancock County 4-H Program Foundation from the Energy Express program's purchase of books materials in the amount of $5,000.
Move to approve.
Discussion? No questions. Calling for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Approval of item 4, approval of Hancock County Emergency Operations Plan promulgation statement, which is in your packet.
Move to approve.
Discussion?
Maybe John Paul, you could tell us exactly what this is? Here it is.
Our emergency operations, we do this, first off, to keep everybody informed of what we're doing. And since we have a new county commissioner, we don't want anybody to have any surprises. And you need to know those, because this is what we're working on for the emergency operations plan. It's a yearly review that we do, but since we have a new county commissioner on board, we make sure everybody's up to speed. Okay?
Further discussion? Questions? Calling for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. B, Circuit Clerk requesting approval to hire Sheena Connors for the position of Deputy Clerk effective September 1, 2015.
Move to approve the request.
Any concerns, questions?
Fill in the vacancy.
Filling vacancy. Further comments, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Item C, under Office of Technology and Communications, requesting approval of the bid for paving of the old Magistrates Court.
Move to approve.
Discussion?
Just like to bring up that there were 2 bids.
Yes, sir. 2 bids from Harry Truschel Company and James White. Truschel's was low bid at $28,800.
That was like $10,000 difference.
Yes.
Any concerns, Robert, on the bids?
No, I've talked to the mayor. We have permission to pave that area, put a curb in, and have those people exit onto the street in front of that paved area rather than having to back up and come out through the parking lot. So this will be a lot better flow of traffic for the back half of the parking lot.
This is concrete.
Yes, sir.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Prosecuting Attorney's Office. D, requesting approval of substitution order request by Hancock County Savings Bank.
So moved.
Discussion? Comments? Vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Miscellaneous. Approval exoneration orders.
Move to approve.
Discussion? It's a whole stack of them over here. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Approval of general county bills, Karen.
General county's $104,438.26. C card for all funds is $43,197.75.
I move to pay the bills.
Discussion, questions, concerns? If none, calling for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of animal shelter levy fund bills and requisition.
They're okay to pay.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of fire allocation bills and requisitions.
They're okay.
Move to approve.
Concerns? Vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Library levy fund bills and requisitions.
They're okay.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Did I skip one?
No, you just have sheltered workshop.
Okay. Approval of, there's so many here.
I know. Everyone turned to their seat.
Approval of shelter workshop levy fund bills and requisitions.
They're okay as well.
Move to approve.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The comment part of the festivities. Karen?
Nothing today.
Counselor?
Nothing today.
Sheriff?
I have several things I'd like to share with the Commission. We just recently were approved for, or reapproved for the Drug Task Force grant of $50,000. We have 2 officers working on the Drug Task Force, so that comes out to about 45% of their salary. PRO grant, we were awarded $40,000 for that. Now that's set up for 1 officer. Of course, we all know that we have more than 1 officer working in PROs out of our county. But that's it comes back to about a 64% of his salary. I want to let you know I'll also be changing the department work hours to a 12-hour day. Officers have been requesting that for quite a while. We were able to work out several problems that I saw in regards to cost. We've been able to make more cost efficient than what they've been able to do in the past. These men have been working really hard. They've been very successful in a lot of their efforts, and this is, for me, this is a possible reward for them to change shifts. We'll try it out for a full year and see how it goes. Also wanted to announce that September 13th, 14th, and 15th, Hancock County Sheriff's Office is hosting the annual West Virginia Sheriff's Association. Representatives of all 55 counties will be attending this meeting. The sheriffs from these counties, along with usually their chief deputies. Also, the chief tax deputies and their assistants also attend these meetings. So this is going to be held at Mountaineer Resort. I'm real happy and pleased that we have an opportunity to bring this kind of business to our county. Out of the concealed carry fund, as you all know, I've wanted to purchase the radar sign, and we've discussed that. Hasn't come in yet, but I did make purchases of first aid kits for the, we call them jump bags, for each of the cruisers. Something that should have been there all along wasn't, and we're just trying to rectify that. So that was purchased out of concealed carry. And the last is first day of school was yesterday. And take this time and opportunity to remind the citizens to be extra cautious when traveling our roads. The old saying, we are a small county and we haven't a child to spare. So please, watch out for all our little ones. That's it, thank you. Unless you have questions for me.
Sheriff, would you be able to get us a copy of the agenda for the your sheriff's meeting?
Certainly. I think it's online. I'll get it and see if I can bring it up to a page.
If you'd like to stop by.
Sure, certainly.
Thank you.
Yeah, evening too.
Okay, it's my intentions.
Is that all, Sheriff? Is that all?
It's all for me.
All right, thank you. John?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The Rover, ET Rover pipeline people, I had an email with them, and they were just touching base. They were still wanting to make sure that there was no floodplain issues with the pipeline going through. And I've assured them that that was not going to be a problem for the crossing underneath the Ohio River here south of the county. So that project is still going on. There was no date on other than it was going to be in 2016, but that was still going on, just as an update.
Do we have an exact location now, John? Because they did change it, correctly? Is that correct?
Yeah, well, it was still across the river where the old power plant, where they tore that power plant down, is where it's going to come up at. So I don't know exactly if it's going to be further south of the slag dump, what I call a slag dump locally, between Valentine and there somewhere. Because there's currently a pipeline that goes through there already.
Yeah, I think they did move the location further north than expected because the city of New Cumberland was excited that they are now included in the 5.2 miles.
Okay.
About 0.4 miles. So
Yeah, well, I have no idea where.
Before that, it was south of that, so yeah, it was outside the city limits. The initial maps we received, but the new maps, I think it's a little further north.
Okay. Anyhow, that's still a viable
Still
project.
go. Good. What else do we have back here? We have 911s here today. 2 reps.
No, I'm sorry,
No?
Nothing.
Carol?
Yeah, we had a great summer. We had a very hectic summer. My fault. Because I took the opportunity to get in the fiscal year to get new furniture for our office, and we painted. I have 2 fabulous interns back with me for another year, Abby Sayer and Jenna Mason, who helped paint. So we have painted, we have gotten new furniture, we successfully implemented 2 sites of Energy Express and had 2 camps. The camp at Tomlinson Run was sold out, I think now for the 4th year in a row. Fortunately, we only had 1 day of rain, and the rest of the week was just picture perfect weather for camping in July. The kids had a great time. They literally ate us out of house and home. We were like out of food by the end of the week. The amount of fresh fruits and vegetables we go through in a week would be amazing to most people. We have a fresh fruit and salad bar for lunch and dinner every day. So the kids have opportunities to eat really, really well, and they do take advantage of it. So it was a great camp, fabulous volunteers this year who worked really hard to make camp very special. Celebrating the 100 years of camping. We've been camping in West Virginia 4-H for 100 years now. Every year except for 1946 due to World War II. Every camp in West Virginia. So it was great to be able to continue that tradition. We teamed up with Brooke County to have a Cloverbud camp, which is for children ages 5 to 8. And if you want to have fun, there's just no much more fun than you can ever have than Cloverbuds for an entire week. We built rockets. We had animals. The kids just had a fabulous, fabulous time. And we just take regular county camp and we just don't keep them overnight. It's a regular 4-H camp, but it's just for the younger children, and they had a blast. We had several photos that made it into the newspaper, which was great for people to see how much fun the kids were having. And it's just too much fun for one camp, as far as I'm concerned. Energy Express went really well. Those sites were almost completely full again. We had really good participation rates. I was very pleased with the staff there. So we're now taking some time to try and get everything put away and get everything cleaned up before we start into the fall programming, which is just right around the corner. So we're very excited and very much appreciate everything that you all do for us, and hope that you gentlemen will come over and check out the office and see what you think of how we did. I think we did you proud with the money that you put in that we had in our budget. And they say that furniture will last for 15 years. I plan to retire in 14, so it'll be the next agent's problem to worry about redoing everything. And that's all we have. Yeah, good planning on that one.
Mr. Vice.
The only thing at this time I'd like to introduce Jeremy Over. He's our new Deputy Director for OAM, for those of you that haven't met Jeremy. He's with John Paul and working on our new COOP plan and a few other things, correct?
So when are you going to have his new building done for him?
Building is on schedule. According to Collier Construction, they're actually at this point in time showing a week ahead of schedule. Punch down lists and everything should be ready Thanksgiving week, and the building should open for us by the end of this year. our goal is at that point is to move OEM in and then start to train and move 911 in possibly by mid to late January.
Good. Well, all kind of parking around here then. Commissioner?
Just a couple little things. These are all, well, two are things of the past, but just worth a little comment on. Appreciate the fact that Sheriff Fletcher had two forums, one at Newell, one in Lawrenceville. And from talking to him, I wasn't able to attend because of the work schedule. They went very well. Beyond most people's belief, you had more support than what was expected, although there were some minor things. But I think it's great that we can get out there and visit the areas and show people that we're willing to work. I think it's a great thing that you do, and hopefully you'll continue it, and I'll get to come to next year's or whenever you can do it again. The second thing was the Teapot reopened up in Chester, and I had the opportunity to go to that. It's amazing what a little community can do, and it's amazing how many people come out in a little community. I thought it was great for seeing people from Hyannet and remarking that they had never seen the Teapot. It was nice. It was really nice. And then I'd quite like to welcome aboard this Sheena Connors. I've got to meet her. She's a young person. She's going to an office that's kind of like a little on the age side, so it'd be nice to see some youth in there, and probably going to establish her ways and be there for quite a while. And wish the retiring ladies much luck. That's it for me.
Commissioner, I'd like to ask John Jones a question. Jonesy, the organization that comes around and check the hydrants throughout the county. Can you enlighten us a little bit about how they check the hydrants, rate our fire systems, and so on?
Okay,
Can you just give us a little update on that?
The ISO is the Insurance Service Organization, and you can invite them into your community, but they try to do something on a 10 or 15-year basis because they have a lot of communities to check. But they grade your local fire departments, they grade your 911 centers, and then they grade your water departments. And a percentage of all of this goes towards the homeowner's insurance rate. In the end of it all, it's a homeowner's insurance rate. I can speak for the city of New Cumberland because I happen to know those numbers. But the city of New Cumberland is at a 7, and our district outside the city of New Cumberland is a 7/9. And what they do is when they grade your water system, they look at how much water supply you have on hand with tanks or whatever, and fire hydrants, new piping, and mostly for the water service, water districts. That is kind of like their bailiwick, but they do come in and grade that. And so they do some flow testing, and or they want to know, if you've got 62 hydrants and 59 of them are okay versus the other 3 or 4 that may be under repair or whatever. That goes in with, same as your water tanks. Should have 2 million gallons on hand, and well, you only got 1.5 million. Well, that's somewhere along the line. The insurance people rate your area, and that's how you pay your insurance on your home from that rated number. That's kind of it, kind of in a nutshell. But like I say, they do our 911 center, and then they do local fire departments. Do you have a ladder truck? Do you have this many trucks or gallons on wheels that you can go, and tankers and stuff. So it takes a lot for them to do that, to come around. I don't know when they were here in New Cumberland last. I don't know if they've been in Hancock County locally. I just can't remember when somebody was having that done. But it's mostly done to try to lower the rates down for the homeowners so that they can get that savings.
Okay, I'd heard a rumor that they may be coming into the area within the next year.
Oh, they may be, because they may want to try and do the whole. They may want to do Chester and New Cumberland, and they may want to try to do maybe a couple of them while they're here, because they kind of like rotate that around, I believe.
Okay, we have a couple other firemen. Do you know, gentlemen? Have you heard anything when they may be coming to the area?
They came in and did my department in 2012-13. When they were in, they also did Chester.
Okay.
It was a 2-day process for each department, just for the fire department side of things, checking records and all that.
They checked the fire departments themselves.
Yes, they do that, and then they get with Tracy and go to the 911 center, and then each individual water department that's in your jurisdiction, they also need cooperation with that.
Do they normally notify them in advance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just checking. Okay. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's all I have today, Commissioner Schwartzmiller.
Thank you. I only have one little item. My esteemed colleagues and I are professional probably 99% of the time. And the other 1%, we sort of tease each other. And what they tease me about is my age. And there's a lot of truth to that. It's teasing, but it's the truth. As you enter the last quarter of a game or the last quarter of life, time becomes important. Age is a factor. There's a lot to do on my to-do list. And with saying that, I am declaring, I put a press release out today that I will not seek re-election for this seat in 2016. Reason I'm coming out so early, you have to declare in January, and potential candidates need really time to get their resumes, their platforms together for a campaign run in May. So that's why I'm coming out so early. Hopefully get a lot of candidates. I've been very honored and humbled for into my 11th year in this job, and I love it. Don't read too much into this. It's just that I'm getting old, and I have a lot to do, and I don't have time to do it. So I am going to retire from both my jobs. This is my 43rd year in education. I'm going to finish this year up, and that's it. The decision was difficult on one hand, but with the primary factors of age and time. The prettiest granddaughter in the world lives in Brooklyn, New York, and a bunch of old golfing buddies that I really haven't golfed with, and give them the opportunity to take my money in a long time were the deciding factors. So I still have 17 months. You guys are stuck with me for 17 more months, and we got a lot to do. I'm not going to mail it in. Going to push for a lot of things. Including a new health department, and so I'm going to be proud to serve 17 more months. So that's what I had today. Thank you.
So you'll be in education for at least another year plus, because
Well,
you still have to teach me more stuff.
Okay.
And I'm not sorry for calling you old.
Well, Mike, I commend you on your decision. Time is the most important thing that we have in life, and you're not as old as you're letting on. But in saying that, it is nice. It certainly has been a pleasure serving with you, but also I commend you on announcing that early. So if there are the good folks out there that have interest in serving on this commission, it gives them an opportunity to think about it and chat it over with their family and make the right decision, because it is a position that takes a lot of time if you do your job right. But
it's not part-time.
No. But
just to throw that in.
I commend you on the decision of moving forward and having fun in life.
Good.
Thank you.
And for me, I've known Mike for a long time, being on school board, and it was great knowing that I could serve with two great gentlemen, and realizing Mike's fiscal responsibility was probably just going to be a little bit brushing up for me, because on the school board I was a fiscally responsible person. You do get a lot of negativism, a lot of negativity about that, but I appreciate that from you, Mike, of not just being a perfect yes man for the sake of yourself. I think you definitely have the best interest of this county in your heart, and I'll short time I've served with you, and then I look forward to the next 17 months of learning as much as I can from you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Nothing else? I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
The next meeting is September the 3rd at 2:30.